Good morning, students. So today we are going to discuss about nucleophilic substitution reactions. Now see, nucleophilic substitution reactions of haloalkanes, they follow two types of mechanisms. One is called SN1 and the other is called SN2 mechanism. So we are going to discuss about these two mechanisms of haloalkanes. Okay. So first of all, let us discuss in how many categories we can divide the types of reactions under which haloalkanes undergo. Okay, so we can divide haloalkanes reactions in three categories. First, nucleophilic substitution reactions, and second, elimination reactions, and the third, reactions with metals. Okay, so in this topic today we are going to discuss about nucleophilic substitution reactions only. Okay, so first of all, what do we mean by nucleophilic substitution reactions? So nucleophiles are the electron rich species. Okay, see, nucleophile word is made up of two words, nucleus and philios. Nucleus means positively charged, philios means loving. So those species which are attracted towards the positively charged species, they are known as nucleophiles. Okay, now see, nucleophiles, now you know what nucleophiles are. Now it means they will be playing their role in such reactions where they will find a positively charged portion in the reactants. Okay, so they attack at that part of the reactant which is electron deficient, because they are attracted towards the positively charged portion. Okay, now the reactant should be such that where there is presence of a particular nucleophilic group also. So what it is going to do now, that particular nucleophile which we are adding to such a reactant, that is going to replace the previous nucleophile, and that previous nucleophile will come out. Okay, now see, in this type of reactions, one nucleophile is substituting another nucleophile. So this type of reaction is also known as nucleophilic substitution reaction. Okay, now look at this reaction. If we see this reaction, then in this reaction, this is the molecule, this is the reactant molecule. Here this is halo group attached. Now in case of alkyl halides, this halo group is to be replaced. Now see, this is haloalkane, and in this haloalkane, this is the halo group attached. This halo group will be replaced by the nucleophile. Okay, so what is going to happen in this case? When an alkyl halide is treated with certain nucleophile, then a nucleophile will take the place of halide ion, and halide ion will go free. Okay, so this type of reaction will be termed as nucleophilic substitution reaction. Now see, how many types of nucleophiles are possible with different reagents, that we can see over here. This is general reaction which will take place every time whenever nucleophilic substitution occurs. So it depends on which reagent we have taken and which nucleophile that reagent is providing, that particular nucleophile will replace the halide ion. Okay, now see, if we take potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide, then hydroxide ion is the nucleophile, so that will take the place of halogen, and halogen will come out in the form of halide ion. Similarly, if we take water, then also the main product form will be hydroxide only. Means hydroxide means it will be replacing halogen by OH group. Okay, similarly, if we take sodium alkoxide, then alkoxide ion will be the nucleophile, and this will take the place of halogen group. Okay, and there will be formation of ether. Similarly, sodium iodide will replace iodide ion, ammonia, that will form amines. Okay, so ammonia derivatives, if you will keep on taking, then it will form primary, secondary and tertiary amines. Now the most important thing which you have to remember is how alkyl halides react with potassium cyanide or silver cyanide. Similarly, how they react with potassium nitrite and silver nitrite. So we are asked sometime that in case haloalkane reacts with potassium cyanide, it forms cyanides, or we say it forms nitrides. But in case of silver cyanide, it forms isocyanides or isonitrides. Why? What is the reason? So similar is the case with potassium nitrite and silver nitrite. In case of silver nitrite, it forms nitroalkane, and in case of potassium nitrite, it forms alkyl nitrite. So what is the reason? The question is asked in this way. So how we have to answer it? We will say that out of KCN and AgCN, KCN is ionic in nature and AgCN is covalent in nature. So in ionic nature of KCN, when we see, then we find that there is more electron density at carbon of the cyanide group. So C combines with the alkyl group of the alkyl halide and there is formation of cyanide. In case of silver cyanide, what happens? When we see the covalent structure of silver cyanide, then we find that more electron density is at N. So N combines, N joins with the alkyl group and there is formation of isocyanide. Similar reason is given for KNO2 and AgNO2. In case of KNO2, it is ionic in nature, and when we see the electron density, then electron density at O is more, and so O joins and there is formation of alkyl nitrite. In case of silver nitrite, when we see, it is having covalent nature, and this particular molecule provides N with more electron density, and so N gets attached with the alkyl group, and so there is formation of nitroalkane in case of silver nitrite. Okay. Now one more thing which we have to learn is ambident nucleophiles. Now see, as we discussed earlier, nucleophile, there is one more category of nucleophiles which are called ambident. Ambident means those nucleophiles has capacity to combine with either of the two atoms which are present in the structure. Now just like if we talk about cyanide ion, then from this its resonating structure we can write it like this. Now from this resonating structure, it is clear that if it is existing like this, then C will get attached, and if it is existing like this, then N will get attached. Okay, so because of the existence of resonance phenomena, a particular nucleophilic group can act as either means we can say that because of the presence of resonance, a particular nucleophile can get attached by either of the two atoms. Just like in case of cyanide, it can attach with C also or with N also. It depends in which structure it is existing. Okay, similarly we can say about nitro group. In case of nitro group, O can also join and N can also join. Why they are joining? Because nitro group also shows the phenomena of resonance. Okay, so such groups which have the capability to join through more than one atom, they are known as ambident nucleophiles. Okay, now let us start with the mechanism. So as we told earlier, there are two types of mechanisms. One is SN2 and the other is SN1. So let us first discuss the SN2 mechanism. Now see, SN stands for nucleophilic substitution reaction and 2 stands for bimolecular reaction. Okay, or in other words we can say the nucleophilic substitution reactions which are following second order. Okay, so now which type of reactions of alkyl halides will follow SN2 mechanism? Okay, now see, in this type of mechanism there are few things. Very first thing, this type of mechanism includes transition state formation. There is transition state formation in case of this mechanism, and secondly, this is one step mechanism. There is just one step involved in this mechanism. Okay, and third thing is that both the reactants, the alkyl halide and the nucleophile, both have their role in the order of reaction, or we can say in the completion of reaction, or we can say that in the speed of the reaction. So their concentration matter. So how it is done? First of all, which type of alkyl halide will show this type of mechanism? This type of mechanism is shown by primary haloalkanes. Okay, so just like, let us take this example. If we take methyl chloride and we treat it with a nucleophile hydroxide, then what happens? First of all, there is formation of a transition state. This is the transition state. Transition state means it is the intermediate state which is unstable, and the configuration of transition state is totally different from reactants as well as from products. In this particular state, nucleophile is also attached with the molecule, and the leaving group is also attached with the molecule. Okay, so when all the things gets attached with each other, then the leaving group moves away with the passage of time, and when it moves away with the passage of time, then other groups attached with the central atom, they also start moving away, and in this process the configuration totally changes. Now see here, 3 hydrogen atoms were towards the left side of the leaving group, and in this case the 3 groups are on the right side of the group which is attached, which is substituted. Okay, so this is the totally different configuration of both the reactants and products. So this can be shown like this also. See, this is our nucleophile, and this part of the alkyl halide is leaving group. Okay, so in the transition state, all the groups are attached with the central atom, leaving group is also attached, and the group which is to be attached, that is also attached, and with the passage of time the leaving group leaves the molecule, and the nucleophile gets attached with this, and other group members, other elements which are attached to the central atom, they find their place totally in the different direction as was there in the reactants. Okay, so this is called SN2 mechanism. Now let us discuss again this. Okay, now see, the incoming nucleophile interacts with the alkyl halide. What has happened in this process, that we are going to explain again. The incoming nucleophile interacts with the alkyl halide, causing the carbon halide bond to break. Now see, this was the earlier bond. When our nucleophile comes nearer to this, then it causes the carbon halide bond to break. A new bond is formed between carbon and the attacking nucleophile. Okay, here it is CO bond formed between C and OH. These two processes take place simultaneously in a single step. So this is single step mechanism. In the one step only whole thing goes on. Okay, as the reaction progresses and the bond between the incoming nucleophile and the carbon atom start forming, the bond between carbon atom and the leaving group, that starts weakening. Okay, as this result, the 3 carbon hydrogen bonds start moving away from the attacking nucleophile. So since the leaving group is going to leave the molecule, so it results in the movement of other groups also towards itself. Okay, so because of this, what happens, the configuration gets inverted. Configuration means which group is present where, that is called configuration. So whatever was the configuration of reactants, that totally gets inverted in case of products, and this thing is known as inversion of configuration. It is just inverse in case of product. What was there in the reactant, just inverse is in case of products. Okay, now see, whatever was formed in the middle, that is called transition state. So transition state is the unstable form, and that results in the formation of products. Okay, now see here, inversion of configuration word has come. So what do we mean by configuration? Let us discuss it. Now what is configuration? It is spatial arrangement of functional groups around carbon. Okay, just like, let us take this example. This is one of the molecule and this is carbon. Now this carbon is attached with these four groups. Now whichever way these groups are attached, that formation is known as configuration. Their arrangement in the space around this central atom is called configuration. Now if we see its mirror image, then it is, this is the mirror image. Okay, now these two are representing the same molecule, but what is the difference is that configuration in case of A is totally different than the configuration in case of B. Okay, so I think it is clear to you what is configuration just means how the atoms attached to the central atom are placed in the space. Okay, so similar molecule can have different configurations, just like here A and B show different configurations. Okay, now one more thing, just now we discussed that in case of SN2 mechanism, there is just one step involved and there is formation of transition state. So let us discuss now which type of molecules will form, which will undergo SN2 mechanism. Okay, now see what is to be what will happen in this type of mechanism. See, this reaction requires the approach of the nucleophile to the carbon bearing the leaving group. Okay, so what has to happen in this case? Transition state is to be formed, and in transition state the nucleophile which we are supplying, that must get attached with the central atom along with the leaving group. Leaving group will also be there and that will also come and get attached in transition state. Okay, so if it has to get attached, then the central atom should be visible, means that should be prominent so that nucleophile can easily get attached. Okay, now a factor comes that is called this is called what do we say, this just covers the whole thing and it is called steric hindrance. Okay, so what the effect, what the factor is? Steric hindrance, STERIC, steric, HINDERANCE, steric hindrance. Now see, when we compare the alkyl halides, then in case of methyl group, we find that carbon to which the nucleophile has to get attached, that is bonded to only 3 simple hydrogen atoms. So there is lot of space and nucleophile can get attached easily. In case of ethyl halide, we find that there is one alkyl group which is bulkier, which is having larger size, and that will cause little bit hindrance for the attachment of nucleophile with the carbon. In case of secondary, there will be more hindrance because two bulkier groups are there, they will cover more space, and the addition of this attachment of nucleophile with the carbon will be little difficult. In case of tertiary, it will be most difficult because from the three sides the carbon will be covered by three bulkier groups and addition of nucleophile will become difficult. So what conclusion we can draw? We can draw the conclusion that transition state formation is easiest in case of primary and is most difficult in case of tertiary. So the order of reactivity for SN2 type of mechanism will be primary is greater than secondary is greater than tertiary. Okay, now let us come to second type of mechanism. Now see, it is called SN1 mechanism, or we say it is nucleophilic substitution reaction following first order kinetics. Okay, now see, there in case of SN2 there was involvement of one step only in the mechanism. In SN1 there is two-step mechanism. Okay, so first difference is it is two-step mechanism. Second difference is in case of SN2 mechanism there was transition state formation, and in this case there is carbocation formation, there is formation of carbocation. Okay, now third thing which differs is in that case it was a one step mechanism and concentration of both the reactants used to matter in that case, but in this case it is two step mechanism. Out of those two steps, one step is slowest step, and we know according to kinetics that slowest step is the rate determining step. So slowest step only determines the speed of the reaction. Okay, so it is unimolecular nucleophilic substitution reaction, or we say it will follow first order kinetics. Okay, rate of reaction will follow first order kinetics. Okay, now let us discuss it with the help of one example. Now SN1 reactions are generally carried out in polar protic solvents. Protic means which can provide a proton. Proton means H positive. Polar means there is development of charges. Okay. Now the reaction between tertiary butyl bromide and hydroxide ion. So one of the best example of SN1 mechanism is that tertiary alkyl halide we have to take with a particular nucleophile, we have to react it, and then there will be formation of a particular alcohol. Okay. Now what is the mechanism? As I told you earlier that it involves two steps. In the first step, what happens? The polarized CBr bond, now we can say CX also, so CBr bond undergoes slow cleavage to produce a carbocation. So there is formation of carbocation in its mechanism. Okay, now in second step there is substitution reaction. Okay, so how it goes on, let us find out. Okay, now see, in the very first step, this tertiary alkyl halide undergoes cleavage. It forms tertiary carbocation and halide ion. Then tertiary, in the second step, tertiary carbocation will undergo substitution reaction, and this nucleophile will get attached with this. Okay, so it is two-step mechanism. Now if we see the speed, then step 1 is the slowest. Since it is the slowest, so it means this is the rate determining step. Now since it is the rate determining step, so we will say that rate of reaction will depend on the concentration of only one reactant, and that reactant is tertiary alkyl halide. So this is nucleophilic substitution reaction of first order. Okay, now the question comes, what should be the order of reactivity for this type of mechanism, or this type of reaction will take place in which type of alkyl halides? Okay, now see, since there is formation of carbocation, and we know that carbocations are of three types: primary, secondary and tertiary carbocations. In carbocation what happens? There is presence of positive charge on the carbon. So if more electron releasing groups will be attached, then the carbocation will be most stable. So in case of tertiary, there are three alkyl groups attached. So it means because of maximum number of alkyl groups, the carbocation formed in case of tertiary will be most stable, but carbocation formed in case of primary will be the least stable. So it means step 1 will occur with ease in case of tertiary. So it means the order of activity will be tertiary is greater than secondary is greater than primary. So this will be the order of reaction for SN1 mechanism. Okay, now we have shown this again, both the mechanism, which will show which way. Okay, now see, if we start moving from tertiary to secondary to primary, then the SN2 mechanism will be shown by primary maximum. Primary alkyl halides will undergo SN2 mechanism, and for SN1 mechanism, tertiary will go maximum. Okay, now see, if we talk about allylic or benzylic halides. Okay, see, this is allylic halide. Okay, in case of allylic and benzylic, they will also form SN1 mechanism. They will also undergo SN1 mechanism. Now why they will undergo SN1 mechanism? Because in those two cases there is formation of carbocation. So they also involve formation of carbocation, and the carbocations in those two cases are balanced by resonance. Since the phenomena of resonance occurs, so allylic and benzylic, those ions formed are more stable, so they will also undergo SN1 mechanism. Okay, so this was all about our mechanisms and nucleophilic substitution reactions. So you have to solve these home assignments on the basis of these two mechanisms. Okay, thank you.